I would say that I did associate being gay with a weakness. Probably around age 16, I realised I had an attraction to men. There was zero representation of any gay men in sports that I knew of. During the Olympic qualification, I was in a relationship with a guy. It was my first serious, long-term relationship. Not many people knew about the relationship. I was in a different city, so my friends from Christchurch weren't around, so it was sort of, you know, a little bit of secret. And during that time, I still identified as bisexual, and he accepted that to the greatest of his ability. And having him and that connection with him during that time helped me more than anything. Qualifying rounds went pretty miserable. A week out, I fell and basically ripped open the side of my face. I'd lost all my confidence. After failing to qualify, I sunk quite low. That downward spiral ended the relationship on my own doing. It was a double failure. I believed my sexuality was a failure and my sport was a failure. I've always felt like I've had a lot to prove, and the non-willingness to give up my sport is a part of that. I saw sport as a way to prove myself. I moved into a relationship where I got a lot of pressure to come out, and some would say that was a bad idea, but for me, it was probably the best thing that he could have ever done, was to force me to come out. And even though we're not in a relationship now, I'm extremely thankful for him for doing that, because it lifted a very large weight off my shoulders. Basically, overnight, I was a happier person. I had accepted myself, I had been accepted, and I was in a happy, loving relationship. And that was something I definitely needed heading into qualifying for Vancouver in 2010. The last few weeks I have been speaking at high schools throughout the Nelson region here, sharing my story initially about the Olympics and how I achieved that and the goals I set myself to get there. And then I throw, I guess you could say, a spanner into the mix and tell 1,200 schoolboys that I'm gay. I want to empower kids to accept who they are and to embrace who they are, especially earlier on in life, because your adolescence is something you never get back. You're older for a lot longer than you are younger, and they are the times that you should remember, and you should be happy in those times, because, I mean, I'm only 25 and I still wish I was 17, 18, because although they were quite challenging times for me, they were still exciting times. I have a friend who is in sport and is gay, and he is out to 2 people, myself and one other. I spent some time with him recently where he was very depressed and very concerned about people finding out that he was gay. The perception in his mind was that because he was gay, he couldn't be in the sport, and that his coaches, his teammates and selectors would see him as a different individual, weak maybe, I don't know. And I said to him that it was all wrong, and it was completely wrong. And I don't know if he believed me, because, I mean, who are you going to believe but yourself, I guess? You have to figure these things out for yourself, and I know I'm right because I've been through it.